A fiery gas explosion critically injures workers. More Oklahoma earthquakes and a stepped-up effort to prevent them. Business owners react to Norman's new quiet zone. This is OU Nightly.
An overnight gas well explosion in Wagner County sent 4 workers to the hospital.
It's the second and most serious Oklahoma gas well explosion in the past 2 weeks.
The explosion and fire that followed lit up the sky east of the town of Coweta. The glow reportedly visible from Tulsa, some 30 miles away. Wagner County Emergency Management says a contractor repairing a gas line triggered the blast. The line had been damaged earlier in the day by a truck. The explosion critically injured 3 workers. Air ambulance took them from the scene. Responders have cut off the gas line to the well and are waiting for it to burn out.
Earthquakes have been out of the headlines lately, but that doesn't mean the ground has stopped shaking. A magnitude 2.6 earthquake just a couple of hours ago rattled folks around Enid. That one followed even more powerful 2.9 magnitude quake yesterday in Perry. If you're keeping score at home, there has been 1 earthquake in the past 24 hours, 18 in the past 7 days, 88 earthquakes in the past 30 days, and in the past 365 days, earthquakes of 1.2 magnitude or greater have hit Oklahoma nearly 1,500 times.
In ongoing efforts to reduce the number of earthquakes, regulators are placing new limits on oil and gas water waste injection. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission issued restrictions for 654 wastewater disposal wells in northern Oklahoma. Most geologists agree there is a direct link between wastewater injection and the rash of earthquakes that continues to strike Oklahoma.
Well, Nate, it's actually been a really chilly day today.
Yeah, I know, and after such a great week. Well, I think Leah's got some more with the weather.
Yes, guys, as you can see, temperatures across the state are in the 50s right now, especially here in Norman and in the central part of the state. We were looking at the 80s yesterday, but those have dramatically cooled over the past 24 hours. On top of that, we have winds that are coming from the north that is making things feel a lot cooler than they would otherwise normally feel. But I will be talking about that all in a little bit. The big story is the freeze tonight. We're going to have cooling temperatures over the weekend and then some rain chances for Sunday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you. OU Nightly's Tori Johnson now joins us in the news center with the latest on Iraqi forces in Mosul.
Tori.
Iraqi forces continue moving west in efforts to push ISIS out of Mosul. Mosul International Airport and a nearby military camp are now free from terrorist control. More than 50 members of ISIS were killed and numerous others were injured during the liberation. And a chaotic scene in the Philippines after the arrest of a senator. Police arrested Layla de Lima for allegedly taking bribes from jailed drug traffickers. De Lima has led the opposition of President Duterte's bloody anti-drug campaign, which has led to thousands of deaths since he took office in June. De Lima denies the charges, calling them political persecution, and says the truth will come out at the right time. And department stores across the country are falling victim to online shopping and discount stores. The latest, JCPenney says they will close up to 140 stores. Penny's will offer early retirement to 6,000 workers, but it is unclear how many jobs will be lost. Macy's and Sears recently announced plans to downsize as well. Next month, JCPenney is expected to reveal which stores will be closed. And guys, there is a new movement for Barack Obama to run for president again in France. Now back to y'all in the studio.
Thank you, Tori.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, how you can avoid a recent phone scam.
Plus, trains have gone silent in Norman. How are local business owners reacting? There's a new phone scam making the rounds, and you might hear this from a man calling himself Sergeant Jackson.
This is in regards to a failure to appear warrant.
The message continues, urging you to resolve a warrant in your name by calling a number. OU Nightly returned the call, but nobody answered. If you receive one of these calls, contact the Oklahoma Attorney General's office.
Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art in Norman is holding its annual fundraiser, Toast to the Arts. Tonight from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m., this event will have it all: wine tasting, appetizers, and live music. Students can get in with their student ID for $25. All proceeds will go to fund public school transportation for educational field trips. Tickets can be purchased at the museum on their website.
And Norman's Railroad
Quiet Zones has been in effect for almost a week, and OU Nightly's Clara Wilson checked with local business owners and residents to see how it's working out.
If we're in meetings or just walking throughout downtown, you don't have to yell at each other as you're trying to get your point across as those trains are coming by. So it's going to be good for all of downtown.
Well, if you want more information on the new Quiet Zone, visit normanok.gov. All right, well, when we get back, we're going to have a little weather for you. Leah, can you tell us a little bit more what we can expect this week?
We are looking at live at the baseball stadium. It looks beautiful outside, but yesterday honestly would have been a much nicer day for the game. We had temperatures in the 80s yesterday. Right now, we're down to the 50s for Norman. On top of that, we have this northwesterly wind that's going to be coming in, and that is going to be making these temperatures feel a lot cooler. So the temperature changes, those are the big stories this week. We have a 37-degree temperature drop from what it was yesterday here in Norman and Oklahoma City. Up here in Woodward, they are seeing temperature changes of 40 degrees. Yesterday, they were looking at temperatures at 85. Currently, right now, though, they are down to the low 40s across the board. In most of the state, we're going to be in the mid 50s, but again, a lot cooler than what we were seeing at this time yesterday, and that is because of the strong cold front that we saw come through overnight. So lows tonight, we are going to be below freezing for most of the state. Guyman is going to be seeing the lowest temperatures, 18 degrees. They're going to be in the teens. For the rest of the state, going to be around upper 20s. But if you have any plants outside or anything like that, you're going to make sure you want to bring those inside or cover them up or something, because we do have these freezing temperatures overnight for your evening. Day planner, we're going to start out the day around a little bit chilly. That is going to warm up as you hit noon. Temperatures, we're going to hit our high around 3 p.m. But overall, the winds are going to be very calm, not like what we were seeing today. Across the board, once again, temperatures are a lot colder than what we were seeing these past few days due to that cold front that came through overnight last night. So here's a look at our national radar. This is the cold front that we were seeing overnight last night. We have a high pressure system that is sitting over us, and that is going to clear out. We do have some rain chances for next week that is going to come through on Sunday. Temperatures are going to be increasing as you get towards Tuesday. But once again, for your Saturday, we're looking at colder temperatures than what we had yesterday. Sunday, we do have some rain chances, nothing too big, shouldn't ruin any of your plans as you go into your work week. Those temperatures will be decreasing on Monday. Tuesday, we do have some more slight rain chances, nothing too big, and then things will clear up as you get into later in the work week.
Awesome. I can't wait to look forward to new, better weather. Thank you, Leah.
Well, some new soccer stars are creating a lot of buzz. A researcher in London has trained bumblebees to roll a soccer ball. Using sugar water as a reward, the study has found that bees might be smarter and more athletic than you think. And that's it for news this Friday, but don't leave just yet. Big Friday Sports is on deck.
Our sports team gives you an extended look at what's happening in sports.
Thanks, guys. Today on Big Friday Sports, OU Women's Gymnastics looks to continue their hot streak as the #1 team in the nation. Plus, we'll take a look at the impressive start for OU baseball and a big 4-game weekend ahead of them. Big Friday Sports is around the corner.
Hey there! Welcome to our humble abode we call Big Friday Sports. We're just a couple dudes wearing makeup, giving you the latest in the world of sports.
And as I have said before, some may need it more than the others, like the guy next to me. But hey, that is beside the point, so here we go. We start with one of the most dominant teams in all of the land, in all of sports maybe. Top-ranked women's gymnastics, the Sooners are coming off a huge quad meet win last week and turn around this week for a top 10 showdown with Georgia. The 7th-ranked Bulldogs head into the LNC tonight for OU's final home meet of the season. OU will honor 6 seniors, including last year's star Chase Capps. It is still the Megan Nichols show for the Sooners as she continues to beat her own records. But the team is still taking it 1 week at a time, preparing for the national tourney.
We really worked hard that week to just be our best and not really focus on the rest of the competition, so I think it helps. I think the hardest part is not thinking about nationals. We have to take it 1 meet at a time, and we get very excited just thinking about the end of season and stuff, so I think just taking it 1 step at a time.
Our depth is amazing. We're all just like so close, and we just like to feed off each other, so focus is amazing. We all just do amazing stuff. It's just awesome to have such great depth.
It's really exciting. It's definitely a confidence booster for the people in lineup, the people working for lineup. We're always pushing each other every single day in the gym. And so just knowing that there are 8 to 9 to even 10 people on each event that are ready to go and score 9-8, 9-9 plus, it's really just makes you be able to breathe a little bit.
Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball. Shout out to Tom Hanks. Hey, a big 4-game tournament this weekend at L. Dale Mitchell Park for Pete Hughes and the Sooners. Oklahoma has started off on the right foot, and a tournament win on their home turf could be huge for the team moving forward. Holden Cruzmark is standing by live in left field with more on the Sooners. Holden, watch out for those pop flies, man.
That's right. As you guys said, it's a big weekend here at L. Dale Mitchell Park. The Sooners are playing host to the 19 Ways Invitational. Currently in the first of a 4-game weekend series, the OU leads Villanova right now 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. As coming off of a disappointing campaign last year that saw the Sooners ranked 21st to start the season, but finishes barely above 500 and 5th in Big 12 play. This year's Sooners team has already started off to a quick start, 4-1 on the season, and has a new edge and more maturity.
15 freshmen played for us last year. It's a crazy number, but this year there should be no more lessons learned. But they're playing like that. They've seen it. They know the game's doesn't speed up on them anymore. Last year, first half of the season, that game was flying by them.
But it's been the senior captains who have set the tone for this team.
You got to look at our senior captains. They're captains for a reason. Those guys set the tone in the clubhouse, and they come out and they play hard. They hold everybody to a higher standard. And sometimes if you're going to be a good leader at that age group, you're going to lose a lot of friends along the way, and you're not going to be the most popular. And those guys have done a great job getting everybody on the same page and delivering the message.
With 19 straight home games to start the season, it was important to get a good jump out of the gate.
It's important to start, in a positive mode so you can keep momentum going. Well, 19 games at home can get you too comfortable.
And this weekend's tournament adds a little flair to the early season schedule.
I like playing tournaments so you don't get locked into the same team, and especially when you have a 4-game tournament. So it'll be fun. The weather should cooperate, and we'll see some good baseball all weekend.
The Sooners will wrap up their game here against Villanova shortly and continue their weekend-long series tomorrow as part of a doubleheader. They'll play Northern Illinois at noon and Villanova again at 6:30. They'll finish up the tournament on Sunday against one of Pete Hughes' former teams, Boston College. From here at the park, back to you, Reagan.
Thanks, Holden. We'll stay on the diamond as Coach Patty Gasser and the Sooners softball team are out west in Palm Springs this weekend for the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. The tournament kicked off yesterday for OU with a pair of 2-1 games, one a win against Louisville and one a loss to Tennessee. The 4th-ranked Sooners sit at 7-3 after snapping their 5-game win streak. OU has 3 more games this weekend against North Carolina State, UCLA, and Notre Dame. The Sooners have their home opener next weekend here in Norman.
Lon Kruger and the OU basketball team are back home after a 2-game road stint. Kruger going for career win number 600 as he takes on his alma mater. Kansas State coming into the LNC, bringing a slew of recent success, winning 7 of the last 9 against the Sooners. Oklahoma cooked up a gritty comeback against 9th-ranked Baylor on Tuesday, but came up just short. Freshman Cam McGusty is aiming to score double digits for the 16th straight game tomorrow. Tip-off against the Wildcats is at 5 o'clock.
And the 16th-ranked Sooners women's basketball team begins their final road trip of the season tomorrow at TCU. OU is looking to finish their season on a high note after seeing their 5-game win streak snapped on Tuesday at K-State. On the plus side, senior Maddie Manning is back for her 2nd straight game after an MCL sprain. The Sooners are 20-4 all-time against the Horned Frogs. The game tips off at 7 in Fort Worth.
The 5th-ranked men's tennis team is in action tonight in about an hour against in-state rival Tulsa. After 2 upsets last weekend, the Sooners are trending in the right direction. And the women's squad takes the court this weekend too, Saturday at noon against Alabama and Sunday at 11 a.m. against Illinois.
And as the weather begins to get nicer, the OU Track's indoor season comes to a close. The Sooners are competing in the Big 12 Indoor Championships at Iowa State this weekend. During the indoor season, OU won team titles at the Sooner Opener, the J.D. Martin Invitational, and the Mark Colligan Memorial. The tournament began this morning and goes on through tomorrow.
Still to come on Big Friday Sports, we're talking Thunder trade, the NBA trade deadline, and table tennis?
That's right, table tennis. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We're not done just yet, Reagan. It's about to get what the kids call lit.
Yes, Carson, I think most would call it lit. That is, unless you're a Kings fan, but that's later in the show. Let's talk about our trade in our backyard.
Yeah. Let me just say, I wouldn't mind if Sam Presti managed my life decisions for a day. Yet again, the Smooth Thunder general manager robbed another team during the trade deadline. Presti turned campaign Joffrey Laverne and fan favorite Anthony Morrow into Boulder power forward Taj Gibson and a guy whose nickname is Dougie McBuckets. The Thunder cured a few areas of need and gave up virtually nothing in the long run. Hey, Dougie McBuckets, you know what they say. Shoot or shoot. Let it fly, big fella.
Preston and Thunder truly got a steal with this trade. The first newly acquired Thunder player is power forward Taj Gibson. Gibson comes in averaging just under 12 points a game and 7 boards. And then you have Dougie McBuckets. McDermott is averaging 10.2 points a game as well as 3 boards.
Around the league, though, a fairly quiet trade deadline this year. And I'll tell you my favorites were 2 teams who kept it that way. The Chicago Bulls made the right move not dishing out all-star Jimmy Butler, but the Indiana Pacers dumbfoundedly wouldn't pull the trigger on dishing out Paul George. Normally, I would say don't trade your franchise player, but George has said unless the Pacers are contenders in 2018, he's bouncing to his hometown in the City of Angels. Now, I'm no fortune teller, but unless Larry Bird can strike gold and get George some help, Indiana will drown in the Eastern Conference, sending PG-13 out west.
Well, there were many trades that stuck out to me, but none like the Boogie and Pelicans trade. Now, some trades are good, some are bad, but this one was on a different level. Sacramento Kings traded their top star, Boogie Cousins, for a ham sandwich, but without the condiments and the cheese, just ham and bread. No offense to Buddy Hield. Now, the Kings are only a half a game out of the 8th spot for the playoffs in the West, but they traded away the only reason they were even in contention. The Pelicans now have 2 top stars in the league, while the Kings have a lot of youth on their squad. And speaking of that trade, he made his debut in NOLA last night for the Pelicans. Boogie made his presence known, putting up 27 points and 14 boards, and the night against the Rockets. However, it wasn't so pretty for the team as the whole, as the Pelicans lost by 30 points. Yes, 30 points, 129-99. This was thanks to the big night by Houston's Lou Williams, hitting 7 from deep in his Rockets debut.
Clippers Warriors in the Bay, Dubs down 61-49 at the half. Then Cupcake Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and the Warriors released the monster. Golden State rattled off a casual 50 points in the third quarter. No, your television isn't broken. I really did say 50 points. Chef Curry sprinkled in 20 points, and Durant added 15 in the quarter himself.
Well, just 2 short weeks after the beloved former Knicks player Charles Oakley was arrested and kicked out of Madison Square Garden, he is back courtside. But this time, it's not in New York. Oakley was a guest of Cavs owner Dan Gilbert for Thursday night's game against the Knicks in Cleveland. They sat together and were spotted by cameras just chatting it up.
By now, Philadelphia fans have embraced the trust the process motto. Earlier today, the latest saga unfolded as the Sixers announced former #1 pick Ben Simmons would be sidelined for the entire season with a nagging foot injury. Simmons broke his right foot in October and has missed the team's first 56 games of the season.
All right, well, we leave you on this edition of Big Friday Sports with a different sport, table tennis.
I know you guys have been dying to know what 766 consecutive shots looks like, right? Well, your wish is our command.
And in case you don't have this channel included on your cable package, we've got you covered. Qatar opened yesterday. Li Jie and Hitomi Sato going back and forth for 10 minutes. We could show you the whole video, but you get the point.
I don't know if we've got enough time to do that today, Reagan. But anyway, baseball may have just kicked off, but in Oklahoma, it's seemingly always football season. OU spring game is right around the corner, April 8th. What are you most interested in seeing?
I'm seeing how these guys can fill in the backfield that they lost in those 2 top stars in Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon. 2 guys that went out. You have young guys like Rodney Anderson, Abdul Adams, 2 guys that, have had success, but Anderson had those injuries, coming back to fill those spots.
we've got a little bit more time. Let's get one quick look at that last table tennis match. And I'm looking forward to those new guys, Sooner Squad 17. They're going to be a great group of guys. I think they have a chance to be one of the best recruiting classes Bob Stoops has ever had. Anyway, that will wrap it up for us today on Big Friday Sports. Be sure to check out OU Nightly Monday at 4:30 for a recap of this weekend's action.
Have a great evening.
Good night.